Dude, what the fuck? What am I reading in YouTube chat of all places? Woohoo! Max on a Monday. Fuck yeah! I took my pre-workout for leg day, and hopefully one day get a quick on Twitchy TW. What the? What the hell? What are you saying, man? What are you saying? I like it though. You're just excited. Dude, that reminds me of that one time that I was progressing. Man, this must have been in like WoD or something, but uh I was addicted to caffeine heavily. Probably still am, just less so. I haven't had any today, for example. Um but I took pre-workout because it was the only thing I had in my house to caffeinate myself for a WoW raid. And it had beta alanine in it, which is like the stuff that makes you feel like kind of your skin's like kind of tingly. And that was one of the most uncomfortable experiences of my entire life. I'll never forget how bad I felt in that. That was one of the worst decisions I've made in a WoW raid. Like beta alanine, if you guys have ever taken it or haven't taken it, it makes your skin crawl kinda. But it like feels good to work out because you make it go away. That's the way I describe it, at least. It's probably less. It's probably not. I'm like describing it wrong, but that's how it feels to me. But like when you can't move because you're like gaming, it's crazy. Green tea is life after switching from coffee. I mean, I usually just take caffeine pills because like I used to drink a bunch of. I mean, I still drink an energy drink every now and then. I heard a study. Did you guys hear that or read that news article where was it taurine was linked to some kind of cancer? Let me not quote this wrong. Oh yeah, here it is. A recent study has linked taurine, a common ingredient in energy drinks, to the growth of leukemia cells. While taurine is naturally produced by the body and found in various foods, the study suggests that supplemental taurine, particularly in energy drinks, could potentially accelerate leukemia growth in individual. Is it in individuals with the disease or just I don't know, but I do need some caffeine though. All right, yo, I'm here. I'm so here. Saw some people already posting. Max knows that this stuff's going live today. I don't know shit. In fact, I doubt, and I hate this for me because I'm not going to be in town. I'm out of town the next 3 days for my sister's graduation. Well, is it called graduation? She's been in residency after med school, and she's leaving. She's becoming like a full doctor and attending. But I don't know. Is that a graduation? I think it is. Yeah. Okay. She said last graduate. Oh, that's her right there. Last graduation. No more. I promise. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna be gone the next 3 days, but because 11.1.7 is coming out tomorrow, um, they're not going to announce that like today, for example, because that would like drown out the hype for tomorrow. So they're gonna do it for on Thursday or Friday usually is when they do it, but they're gonna do it this week. But they're probably gonna do it Thursday when I'm not home, and that makes me sad. Someone said fellowship soon, and then she said no fellowship. I'm spent. Wait, what the fuck is fellowship? Is that even more school? Is that like what extra specialized shit? What kind of doctor is she becoming? She specializes in emergency medicine. Fellowship is super specializing. Okay. Hey Max, please fix the mic. I pay for it. Bro, if I knew how to fix the mic static thing, I would no amount of money would stop me from paying for it instantly. Like I'd pay thousands and thousands of dollars to fix it without question. In fact, I've even spent thousands of dollars trying to fix it. Unfortunately. Oh, this is also not the part of the stream where we derail it by you guys like suggesting what you think it is, because that's just a waste of time, right? But yeah, like clearly some like electrical issue or something. But yeah, I've tried new mics, new mic stands, new cables, new audio interfaces, new computers, new battery setup, entirely like new electric setup. It doesn't matter. You hear no static? Yeah, because I have my mic. I have my hand on the mic stopping it. Yeah. Basically, if you guys watch the TV show The Pit, that's her life. I haven't watched that shit. I can't watch gore. Even though it's not like what you traditionally feel like is gore, but like, bro, I'm not trying to see people get fucked up, you know? You haven't tried a new house? Yeah, no, I need to try a new house. Like, I mean, I bring my exact same computer setup here to the race down in Santa Monica, and I have no issues at all. It's something with this room or this house. So just got to get a new house, I guess. My sister said my patient just stood in the middle of the ER and pissed on the floor last night for no reason. Just straight floor pissing. That's a real floor pisser. That's a real floor pisser right there. They're actually about that shit. That was THD. I mean, she is currently in Miami, so it actually could have been him. But she knows who he is, though, so it's unlikely. Although if it was him, she wouldn't be able to tell us because of HIPAA laws, right? So the jury's still out. Right? Try grounding your mic or mic arm. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, man. Thank you. Max, did you log in because Blizz is about to announce 11.2? No, I already said that. They're not. Like, zero inside information, just purely based on logic of what they've done before. They never do big announcements of new things right before they're releasing something you already know about. So 11.1.7 is coming out tomorrow. They would never announce anything that would potentially take away any like hype away from that. So it just simply will not be announced today or tomorrow. But it could be announced Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Typically it's Thursday. They let a couple days go by. I hope it's Friday though. I'll be home Friday. But what if there's absolutely zero hype for tomorrow? That doesn't change anything. It doesn't matter how much perceived hype there is for anything. The business case would still never change. I know you maybe know that, and that's not why you said that. You just wanted to point out there's no hype for tomorrow. Like, I see that. I'm just, yeah, that wouldn't matter. All right, we're going to release our new patch information. We're going to hype everybody up. All right, well, we have a patch coming out tomorrow. Should we do it? Well, people aren't hyped for it. All right, well, fuck it. Fuck it. Let's make it even less. Yeah. Yeah. Max, given your lore expertise, who do you think is the last boss of the expansion? Um, my guess would be uh maybe who's the like big bad boss, the feet lady, Xalatath? My guess would be if we're doing like a 3 expansion arc and we know that Xalatath is the bad person. I feel like at some point we're gonna fight her and lose. So I feel like we're gonna fight Xalatath and lose, but it may not even be like the fight may not even be called Xalatath, right? You could be fighting a boss that's like controlled by her or she's involved in the fight, you know. Um I don't know, I feel like that has to happen at some point, and I feel like that can't happen next expansion because it's like too late to when you're actually gonna fight. I don't know. Fight or feet? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I doubt that. But other than that, I don't know. She controlled Galley and Nanserek? Shit. %of WoW. I don't know. The feed stuff in the has definitely seemed specific, but I doubt it's like some nefarious thing. It's probably a bit. By the way, you know how they say, like, you're not supposed to like, what is it, kink shaming? You're not supposed to. But I feel like some kinks are like objectively, like you kind of can look down on someone for having them. Am I wrong for saying that? Probably. But like, I don't know. Some of them feel a little strange, you know? All good. Next raid ethereals 100%. They've got the heart thing now that we have been chasing in each raid since Dragonflight. Bro, what are you talking about? Next raid is ethereals 100%. They got the heart thing now that we have been. What are you? I don't even know what you're referring to. The dark heart? Like the thicket? Bro, I know I'm not even trying to, but I know I'm making some of y'all mad right now. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Max, you're day drinking. What's your 4th drink for the afternoon? Dude, I hadn't drank in a while until last night, and we were at a just went to a restaurant and they had like a cocktail that looked kind of interesting. I love a spicy margarita. That's my shit. And they looked like they were a place that would have a nice one. It was it's a Thai place. It was such a disappointment. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. Just random piece of information, but so disappointing. Actually, let me rephrase. All WoW lore has always been ass except for Legion. Oh shit. Actually, I think you're right. I think well, I don't know about the whole WoW lore being ass. I don't know enough about it. I've just never found WoW lore interesting at all, so I guess that means I think all of it's ass. Um but what is it I think Legion you are onto something there. I've played like a bunch of other or I've seen a bunch of other like just random MMOs, like mobile MMOs, other like smaller MMOs, and they always seem to like copy something from Legion. Like the amount of people that have tried to do the like Nightborn Suramar looking shit, like that's clearly was so influential. Maybe they stole that from somewhere else. But that aesthetic was like really cool and really that whole thing. They've done that with like the hierarchy there. Was Suramar the coolest part of Legion? I think aesthetically, yeah. Class halls? Nah, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I don't mean like, yeah. I mean, most of you know what I mean. Argus. Argus was cool. Max, why are we only streaming in 720p? Oh, fuck. I forgot to change that, man. I forgot to change it. So, I've always streamed in 1440p for WoW stuff, or almost always. And then it'll have a 1080 option, or actually, sometimes it doesn't have a 1080 option, but for whatever reason, you could just do 1440p and it's chilling, right? The only people who get fucked are people with like extremely bad internet connections. Then they have to watch you at a lower resolution, but it's like whatever, right? Those people are pretty rare nowadays. But recently Twitch changed something to where other countries viewing you can't watch at a certain resolution or something. Like I know I know EU viewers specifically are having trouble. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's they can't watch 1440p or like if they can't watch 1440p, it doesn't even give them a 1080 option. Yeah, so it's what this person said. There isn't an option for 1080p and 1440p is region blocked. Yeah, see, that's the thing I don't understand. I don't understand who's getting region blocked for 1440p. Some kind of bandwidth shit. What country are you in, big dog? Amberlin. Or are you on a VPN? Are you VPNing someplace crazy? Czech Republic VPNing to the States. Well, I mean, if you're VPNing to the States, you shouldn't have any kind of region blocking, but maybe the Czech Republic doesn't allow it? Or maybe it's your specific connection? Who fucking knows, man? Wait, maybe it's VPNs. Someone else said I had this problem with another streamer and it was fixed with a VPN. Well, it sounds like this guy it's getting caused by a VPN, maybe. Is there an article on Twitch about this? You know, let me look it up. Twitch resolution region blocked. Oh, here we go. 2K, 4K resolution region lock on Twitch. Here we go. Oh, okay, here's an AI overview. Twitch is implementing region-based restrictions on viewing certain stream qualities, specifically 1440p. This means that some users, particularly those outside of a designated list of countries, may be limited to 1080p even if the stream is broadcasting at 1440. This is part of a limited beta for 1440p streaming, where the higher resolution is initially being rolled out. What do you mean initially being rolled out? We've had 1440p forever, right? The 1440p streaming is in its early stages. Wait, so oh, so like when you've been streaming in 1440 before, it wasn't like actual 1440 is what the world what they're saying here. People could set it to 1440, but it wouldn't actually be 1440. Oh, I see. Oh shit, so I've been streaming at 1440p for no reason. W. I mean, I can tell you it's better than 1080p. Like it's not like a like placebo. Like I could stream in I could stream in 1080p and stream in 1440p, and if I were to turn on my stream, it would look significantly different. Especially with WoW. 2K is actually being rolled out now. There was a test market last year for Astro 1440. Okay. You should restrict all British viewers. Yo, speaking of that, I was on the TV the other night, just kind of looking for stuff to watch, and I randomly turned on Love Island UK. Bro, that shit got turned off within like, I mean, it wasn't that long. It was like 15 minutes, but the accents are insane. Like, it's unwatchable. It's so distracting. Bro, Love Island slaps. Dude, I mean, I bet it's like super dramatic. It's just like the accents were just completely unlistenable. Yeah, randomly. What do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, randomly. Me and my girlfriend were looking for some shit to watch, and we wanted to watch some trash TV, so we randomly turned on Love Island UK. Why is that? Why is that not randomly? I've never watched that. I've never watched Love Island ever. That's random as fuck. Dude, you got to look up Albanian Big Brother. I don't even know what Big Brother means. Is that a show? Max, have you watched Love on the Spectrum? Yeah, Love on the Spectrum's cool. Watched a little bit of the last season, I think. It's very sweet. Oh God, he doesn't know. Hmm? What do you mean I don't know? Max, have you ripped the rehearsal? Dude, I love Nathan Fielder. I think he's super funny. Um, I I can't watch the rehearsal. I watched the first two episodes of the first season. I get it. It's like extremely Nathan Fielder, but bro, I just can't. I can't do it. Max, you wouldn't believe how much dead skin I just cleaned off my WoW mouse, or maybe it's sweat. Nasty either way. Yeah, you got to get a new one. I've just started. I don't ever usually clean my keyboard and mouse. I just like get a new one when it starts getting the gamer gunk on it. That's my vibe. I've done that forever. Now they last a lot longer because I don't game as much. Yeah, us non-billionaires can't do that. Well, I don't. I know I don't buy one like all the time. It's like, I mean, I probably replace my keyboard and mouse every like 1 or 2 years or something. I feel like that's around the normal time they give out anyway. Like kind of lines up. They're not super dirty. I feel like how dirty your mouse and keyboard are like totally depends on your general hygiene and cleanliness levels, I feel like, you know? Like, I know when I was younger, for sure, I would just, like, be straight up eating chips and then just, like, putting that hand right back on them. Like, if you do that, your shit's gonna, your mouse and keyboard are gonna be absolutely disgusting in, like, no time, right? But, like, I don't do that, and I haven't for a very long time. So, like, I feel like and I, like, do normal human things, like wash my hands. So, like, I feel like they don't, like, I've had this liquid mouse since they came out with this, and I use this mouse exclusively. So, like, I think it's been over a year since the Alienware Pro line came out, and this thing's, like, spotless, right? That's what I mean when I say I get a new one. Dude just has a closet full of new mice and keyboards. I don't. Actually, I do have a few keyboards, but I haven't really used them. I've used this same custom keyboard that I had made for me. I've used it for many years now. I think 3 or 4 years. Never cleaned it, but I also don't think it's dirty. It's definitely worn. Like, I've definitely, like, you can see some of the buttons have, like, been pressed a lot. How do you not have an MMO mouse? I do. I play with this Swift Point Tracer. Used to be a Swift Point Z. I use this for WoW stuff, which is an MMO mouse, definitely. But you don't need an MMO mouse to play MMOs at all. I love it though. Like, I think it's, like, super good. I mean, I'm definitely used to it, but there's definitely some classes I play, specifically Shaman, where, like, okay, the kind of things that I'll bind to a mouse, I can actually, like, think about. So let's get in the realm of Windwalker Monk. Let me tell you what's on my mouse. So I have mounting, like mounting your mount. I have spear hand strike or kick. I have health pot. I have DPS pot. I have transcendence, both transfer and placing it. I have Tiger's Lust. I have paralysis, and that's it. So these are things that you press very infrequently. They're never rotational. I strongly dislike having rotational buttons on your mouse. I think that's really bad. I don't want to do that. But if I were to even on Windwalker Monk, if I were to remove all of those things and put them on my keyboard, I now have to, like, bind a lot of keys, and I just don't want to do that. It's like, I'm comfortable with the amount of keys I have bound. I don't want to bind any more of them. Now on Shaman, to actually bind all the things you need on Shaman, like, I'd be cooked without one of these mouses, I think. All good though. I have an MMO mouse and my full rotation and some extras all bound to my mouse, and I move with arrow keys instead of WASD. Yeah, that's extremely cursed. All good, though. That's cursed. I also press my kick very infrequently. Bro, the most you can press your kick is every, like, what, 12 and 15 seconds? That's, like, nothing. I'm talking, like, bro, having stuff that you spam every global on your mouth is actually psycho. That's psycho shit. I don't use an MMO mouse. I just bind Control and Shift to my mouse, and then boom, 27 binds. Oh, I see. So, like, you use your modifiers as your 2 mouse keys. That's actually kind of an interesting solution. I feel like you're going to be pressing them a lot, though. Like, I'm sure it's good if you get used to it, but right now the idea of using, like, Alt and Shift modifiers, Control and Shift modifiers, not pressing it on your keyboard, it just, like, doesn't compute in my brain. It's just, like, the only way that works. Like, just as an example, too, like, those, like, what are those stupid ass, like, Razer like gamer hand things. Stupid Razer gamer Kraken something. Yeah, like it's something here. Razer Gaming. Dude, they have some crazy dumbass shit that I'm sure is great. It's just so stupid. What are we looking at here? I don't even know where to find this. Like, what's it called? A TARDIS? A Razer TARDIS. Tartarus? Is it this? Tartarus. What is this? Yeah, like, yeah, absolutely. Like, some shit like this. Some absolutely dumbass shit like this. But I bet it's fine if you're used to it. You know? Like, this is one of these things where if you specifically learned how to game because your older brother or someone uses one of these things and like you just learned on this, it would probably be super normal to you and maybe even optimal or good. Except for the like analog stick thing. That's what are we doing here, right? If you're moving your WoW character with that, something's wrong. But like just using this, like basically just look at this picture, right? If you were to just use these binds here in place of like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for main rotational abilities up here, and then just pick any random number of like binds you use down here, it would be the same thing as a keyboard for most people. It basically is just a keyboard, but just without the rest of the keyboard, and it's just for gaming, right? But like anyone who's ever used a keyboard before would just be like, there's no point to, because like this is, I can just have the other side of my keyboard too. Max, check the Azeron Cyborg. What is this? Whoa. Whoa, what is this? What's it trying to do? What is this? I don't want it to show my ad, what? Okay, just like I don't get it. Whoa, please don't randomly do this. How much are they? $200. But what are they doing? Like, so I don't want to buy one. I just want someone to explain what the bit is. Simplify your gaming. You can move your thumb. You can move with your thumb. You can set up efficient control schemes and adjust the keypad to prevent hand tiredness. Oh, yeah. Okay. Again, this, whenever you're talking, hey, just real quick, if you're ever talking about in WoW and you're ever using a fucking analog stick to control your character, you're playing the game on ultra hard mode and you're going to be bad. Straight up. All good though. So let's see. So Hall effect thumbstick for WASD or 360 movement. 30 mappable inputs with quickfire Omron switches. Tall towers with knuckle keys. Wait, so okay, I need to watch a video on this or something. Like, are each of these things mapped to like a key on the keyboard and you just memorize? Bro, give me the key feature of the Azeron gamepad. All right, this is straight propaganda from their website, but
Hey there, I'm Daniel, and this is Azeron Gaming Keypad.
what is it? Yes.
It's like a love child between your keyboard and gaming controller, and it replaces your keyboard. Now, before you say, why would I need this thing? I'm a keyboard ninja. Hear me out. Azeron melts together the best from the both worlds, keyboard and controller. What do you do
The only problem is a keyboard is superior to a controller in every way.
normally on your keyboard?
Actually, there are games that are better with controller, but probably only because they're like made specifically for them.
You keep 3 fingers on WASD to move around.
I'm a
Up,
computer
down,
purist,
left,
though.
right, and diagonally. And with your thumb, you only press space to jump. That's a weakness we can fix. The biggest advantage of Azeron is the real thumbstick. Now you can move in games using just your thumb and let the fingers handle the other commands, while your mouse takes care of aiming. There's a keyboard mode, which allows you to move in 8 directions. Pick this mode and you are good to go in pretty much any game. There is also an Xbox 360 mode that will let you enjoy precise full 360-degree movement.
This right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
You might have heard the thumbstick may be too slow for quick movement and strafing.
Wait, did they just like Photoshop his ass in here? Or did they actually get Markiplier to do a sponsor for this exact thing? And this was the bit he came up with? Because it's a fucking good bit.
You might have heard the thumbstick may be too slow for quick movement and strafing in FPS games. Well, slap the restrictor ring on the thumbstick, and you've got snappy movements to dodge those enemy bullets.
What? It's a green screened bit that he made? Okay.
Keyboard buttons are binary. They are like light switches. Either they are on or off. You can't push a button down a bit to sneak or walk. You need to press Ctrl and Shift beside WASD to maneuver at different speeds. Unlike keyboards, Azeron lets you adjust your speed on the fly in 360 mode. Tilt the thumbstick slightly to walk or push it all the way for a sprint. If you use your thumb for WASD,
that's just not precise though.
You have 4 fingers to do whatever you need by accessing easy to reach keys without messing up your movement. On the keyboard, try sprinting with Shift in diagonal direction WD and reload your weapon with R at the same time. Or sprint in AW direction, slide jump by pressing Ctrl Shift Space, and switch to your second weapon by pressing 2 without interrupting your movement and dislocating fingers. On the Azeron, since the movement finger is separate from the other commands, it is easily done just barely moving your fingers.
Hello.
Yeah, ripping a quick emote.
Plus, close to your thumb, there's this key. And the 5-way switch you can press or tilt in 4 directions. You can press the thumbstick, that's an input too. All these inputs are accessible with your thumb in seconds. Meanwhile, with the keyboard,
This area is not good either. I hate this, but I'm mainly worried about this.
here is another advantage. Look at the WSX keys on the keyboard. They are placed diagonally. That's because keyboards are designed for typing, not gaming. So if my fingers are on ASD and I need to press X with my middle finger, it must move diagonally. But on the Azeron, keys are located straight, so you don't...
When are you pressing back pedal left and right at the same time? You know? And also you can rebind things, you know?
finger, it must move diagonally. But on the Azeron,
All the time? What do you mean all the time? Bro, if you're backpedaling in a straight line, holding A and D... Oh, you lied? W. Okay, good lie,
keys
good
are
lie,
located
good lie.
straight, so you don't need to tweak your fingers.
Fuck,
The
I was about to
keys
get mad.
are a lot easier to press, and that's a major difference. On a keyboard, reaching for keys 1 to 5 means removing your fingers from WSD and reaching an inch for a button. Now imagine if you play a game where you have important
Yeah,
stuff
all this stuff makes sense, but... Nah.
even further, on F1 to F5. Yes, I'm looking at you, Guild Wars. On a keyboard, reaching for keys like F1 to F5 means interrupting your gameplay. But with the Azeron, all your skills are within easy reach, minimizing the finger travel. Gaming with the Azeron is not only easy and faster, but will also save your hand's health in long term. This type
that is the only thing I think that's worth talking about, is that the hand health. I bet both this and that stupid ass razor thing are both, if you're like gaming for 12 hours a day, just the average person using one of these dumbass hand things are going to have less carpal tunnel than someone who is using a keyboard, like the average person. Because like some people take care of that on keyboards, like they have like support for the wrists and stuff, but for a lot of people I think they are probably would have better hand health long term. That's true. You should buy this for the bit. I don't even know. It would take me too long to figure out how to use it. And I just don't want to do that, you know? Buy an Azeron. I wonder if these people make money. Like out of 1,000 gamers, general gamers, not WoW gamers, just gamers, how many of them are using not even just a cyborg, just stupid hand things like this? You think 5 out of 1,000? Like, what's the market share for dumbass hand stuff? 1 in 10K? Nah, it's more than that. Just because the marketing for this back in like the 2010s was like, you definitely saw marketing for this, at least on Twitch. I like my stupid razor hand thing. I mean, the analog stick has to be really bad as well. Moving your thumb behind its normal position has to suck. Yeah, also, I like how you pointed out, like, you don't even need to use a shift modifier to slow down in a game to walk. You can just either barely press the analog stick, or you can press it, like, full speed to sprint. It's like, there's a reason you want a binary command to do all those things, because you wouldn't want a slight bit of pressure to accidentally make you do the wrong thing, you know? It's, like, significantly harder to actually do that well. But they're advertising it as making it easier to move, but it's probably actually a lot harder to move correctly. In gaming, at least. Max, if Alienware made one, you would have it? Bro. No way Alienware would ever make one of these stupid fucking hand things. Actually, wait, what if they did? And then I just said that. Actually, I feel like Alienware kind of would make some stuff like this, you know? I feel like Alienware does well with normies. Like, of gaming companies that do well with normies, I feel like Alienware has a place in that market, you know? Like, for example, if you were going to, like, see some random dude in his 40s walking out of a Best Buy with a Turtle Beach headset, and you were like, if you were going to get a computer, which, because he doesn't have one, right? He plays Xbox on his couch. Like, where would you get your computer? And he'd be like, Alienware, right? Like, the name immediately would come to his mind of Alienware. So I feel like these little hand things are normie as fuck. So there's definitely a crossover there, right? Like, Alienware could pull this off with their audience, maybe. How is being a cyborg normie? Okay, the cyborg is not. This is not normie. This is some crazy shit. I just mean like this. Look it up, coward. I mean, I don't even know how I look this up. I have no idea. Has Has Alienware ever made something like the Razer Tartarus? Yes, Alienware has made... no, not the same form factor. Let's see. For example, the Alienware Tact X gaming keyboard. No. No. Yeah, there's no... Yeah, they haven't done it. Low key, the Microsoft Ergonomic is a great gaming keyboard. Microsoft Ergonomic. Are you talking about like the one that you've seen randomly at like, there's one at every like small business. Just someone has this absolutely atrocious looking keyboard. Yes, this thing, bro. What absolute nonsense. I mean, if you think about it though, like look at the way this is laid out. If you just look at the left part of this, isn't that basically one of those stupid Razer things? Like, if you just look at your left hand here, it's basically a gamepad thing, just without the analog stick, which is bad anyway. I mean, pro FPS, CS, FPS players always turn their keyboards like that. Bro, they don't turn their keyboards like this. They turn that... Bro, have you actually seen what they do? They have their keyboard like almost perpendicular with their monitor. Have some even... Yeah, it's like fully vertical. Tobo kind of does that. Does anyone on Liquid play WoW like that? I mean, yeah, like Team Liquid players who have played FPS, competitive FPS games, or any gamer really can end up using their keyboard like that. Have you seen the Overwatch player that plays with his monitor sideways? I mean, I know Mendo used to be a Mendo monitor picture. Is there like a shopping, bro? No. No, where's the picture of him? Bro, Mendo like actually has his eyes on his monitor. It's insane. How do you find a picture of this? FPS player, FPD, player face close to monitor. I mean, this one's a me. I mean, this, right? Like, I'm surprised he has his keyboard like this, though. Usually what they do is they have their keyboard like way, like instead of their hands like this, it's like that. Yekinder or Zantaris. Keyboard behind the monitor is the tech. I mean, dude, yeah, maybe. This is Yakindar. Oh, this is the one. The TikTok. Don't make me go to TikTok. Just play it. Just play the thing.
Taking, right? He might want to go and try to peek connector and sit behind triple, maybe 1 second away from that. And feeling comfortable. Yeah, what? Oh my god, it's all 7 deaths. Yep. I just bought glasses and I feel like I'm having astigmatism again.
He's on the bench.
What was that
I feel
POV
like
they were
putting
just
that
looking
close
at?
to your monitor is essentially getting late.
Want to go and try.
Are they showing what it looks like for him?
Right,
That's
you
not
might-
even true.
Want to go and try to peek.
This is the first time I've
connector
ever
and
opened
sit
TikTok,
behind
by the way.
triple, maybe 1 second.
Like, I'm
away
not
from
even making
that.
that up.
And feeling comfortable. Yeah. What? Oh my.
Oh,
God.
it's a joke. Oh, I see. I get it. Good meme. All right. W. What is coming out tomorrow? I mean, I'm not even gonna be in town, but like, what is 11.1.7? What's the bit? Oh, it's the belt, right? They got the belt. Belt. Should Blizzard reconsider including Raid Finder in Mist Append area? I don't think there's a reason. Like, Raid Finder in current WoW makes sense. Raid Finder when MOP first was out makes sense. But when you're bringing MOP back, it doesn't really make sense because you're not experiencing a story for the first time, really. And also the content is so much easier that normal basically is what LFR would be in 2025. So, like, that difficulty mode exists. So there's no reason to make it an even lower one. Is Diablo 4's new Reliquary Battle Pass predatory? Wait, what did they change about the Battle Pass in this game? Because normally the Battle Pass would give you, like... Let's see. Diablo players might be familiar with Platinum, the stand-up premium currency for Diablo 4. Yeah, it's purely for cosmetics. But the Reliquary system adds another currency to the mix in the form of Favor Token. While Platinum is used to unlock the Reliquary itself, Favor Token is the currency used to purchase the cosmetics themselves and can be earned through killing monsters, right? As Reddit user points out, it's not that simple. Okay, yeah, I mean, so far it sounds fine. Upon claiming a reward, the button is used to purchase is labeled Platinum, while the left button reads Claim with a Favor Token. Okay, let's look at the picture. So if you want to get this item, you can either purchase with Platinum or claim with Favor Token. And Favor Tokens are earned from just killing monsters. So far, and I'll keep reading, obviously, but so far it just seems like Platinum is like the currency you could get for a while that you just pay for it, and it's a cosmetic thing. You can either use it to buy the Battle Pass, I think, or you can just use it to buy cosmetics. But now they've added a version of Favor Token that you will get some in the Battle Pass, but you also get some from killing monsters, if I just read that correctly. Let's see. While Platinum is used to unlock, Favor Token is a currency used to purchase the cosmetics themselves, and it can be earned through killing monsters. Okay. Upon claiming a reward, a button is used to purchase is labeled Platinum, while the left button leads claim the Favor Token. While the wording here naturally draws people to click on the purchase button, the worst aspect is actually the lack of a confirmation window for the entire purchase, which leaves players essentially purchasing the cosmetics twice, once for the Reliquary unlock, and then again when they misclick the central button and use a second set of... What? I'm so confused. It's like a bad UI issue. Like you can purchase it once and then accidentally purchase it again. But it doesn't give you any in-game power. Yeah, it sounds like it's a UI problem. It's just shitty UI issue. Yeah. Like if they're offering in this, if you buy the Battle Pass or whatever and it comes with this stuff and then it still gives you the option to purchase the Platinum and buy it twice, that's just like bad UI. No, I was expecting like them to actually put player power into the battle pass, which they previously haven't done, at least in the paid version of it. That's not even interesting. Oh, here we go. Following an initial week showing, the disc belt effects received additional tuning with an update. Development notes, while better balanced than previously, one effect reigns above them all. So it's going to be good. I mean, I think that would be expected, right? What is this take even about? I've never heard a good argument to Raid Finder being bad. I've heard a lot of arguments, but they're all like just rooted in complete nonsense, in my opinion. But so they decided to remove it, which makes sense for MOP specifically, or just makes sense in older WoW games coming back as a classic version. Raid Finder no longer exists in that, like it doesn't need to exist in that context, where it would for like the first time a game comes out. But what is the thought here? Before we can determine if this is W or an L, I'm glad this has made it into actual journalism. We need to understand the Raid Finder audience as a whole. Casual players and heroic raiders who want to flex. Actually, okay, people who play the game now and didn't play back then, you may be like, what are you talking about? Like, people don't go into fucking LFR. Like, that doesn't... Dude, people used to, like, before Mythic Plus existed and you could endlessly PvE, if you wanted to endlessly PvE, you just went into whatever raid difficulty you could re-queue into, so all of them except for the top one because of the way lockouts work. So you would go into, at the time, normal and LFR to just, basically just to try to do damage because there was no other way to PvE if you wanted to. Except for challenge modes, which was like you were scaled really low, right? So, and you needed other people to do, and you couldn't do it on your own. I used to do that all the time. Okay. So, are Celestial Dungeons casual? Build as the replacement for Raid Finder. You would hope they are, but you would visit our Classic WoW and search for Twilight Kick. Sounds like more... What are Celestial Dungeons? What are Celestial... What is that? What does that mean? They're harder dungeons. Build as the replacement for Raid Finder. Are Celestial Dungeons casual? They're buffed dungeons to replace Raid Finder. I'm so confused, though. Why are harder dungeons a replacement for easier raids? Like Raid Finder is for people who want zero challenge at all. They just want to go in, see the story, kind of interact with this cool, like, big aesthetic, like, art piece that they made, and just, like, be a part of the story, right? Like, very, very the casualist of casual players. Totally makes sense. But, like, wouldn't harder dungeons be geared towards a completely different player? So how is that a replacement for LFR? I don't understand. Well, I mean, maybe you could look at it differently, right? Like, that was the case for Raid Finder back when MOP was out, but now that MOP is coming back out, LFR wouldn't serve the purpose of seeing the story and being a part of the raid because you could just do the normal raid, and because of how much better people are in 2025, it would be easier than a current expansion LFR raid, because it's ancient, right? So there is no need for that. That already exists. So the replacement of LFR is more about getting gear, and it's more about having something to do. So basically they're saying, like, because you're not going to get gear from LFR, you'll get it from these Celestial Dungeons instead. Is that the right way to look at it? Max, these dungeons aren't harder. The players that are complaining are bad players coming into the content with the lowest possible item level. They just need to raise the required item level slightly. Oh, it's kind of like how at the beginning of expansions, people just say like the content's super hard, but it's because you're like starting season 1 with like blue gear you find out in the world, and you're doing content that actually is like dropping 40 item levels higher, and you could have done a bunch of other content to get geared for that, but you chose to just go straight into it, and you're like, this is too hard, you know? So build is a replacement for Raid Finder, you would hope they are, but you do visit r/classic WoW and do a little search for Twilight Kicked, and it sounds like more than one of you has been kicked from these repeatedly and for reasons varying validity. How many times can a player be kicked from a dungeon before they choose to permanently exclude themselves from the content? There are countless stories of players being kicked from protocol dungeons in a 5-man versus 25-man environment, and it's much more noticeable if one player can't or won't pull their weight. It is simply inexperience. That doesn't sound like the most casual, friendly experience. Is this on the PTR? Because like Mop Classic isn't out, right? So, or wait, is Mop Classic, bro? Am I like super? am I great? It's not out, right? It's coming out like later this year or something. Oh, it's coming out next month. Holy shit! I think the PTR is a lot different than live though, like the player base. But I'm sure people will still get kicked from dungeons if they're not doing well, though. In Raid Finder, on the other hand, inexperienced players can generally fly under the radar. Yeah. Where do we go to practice for the raid? Oh, how are they doing the tuning in Mop Classic? Are they going away from what they've done before, where they just like basically take the tuning at the end of the expansion and they just rip the whole expansion with that tuning? Are they actually like changing the tuning as the expansion goes on? I heard something about that. I really hope they are, because that's like, I feel like that was one of the most boring parts of Classic, honestly. They're basically making classes their best version of the X-Back. Oh, so like every class gets to be the best version. But how do you that's kind of subjective, right? Oh, so Demo Warlock got revived from the Shadow Realm as an example because they got sent there in 5.4. Oh, I see. Wait. Please, no, not Stormstar Brewery again. Right. So normal mode, heroic mode, challenge mode, celestial mode. And this is for the entire expansion. Even retail rotates the dungeon pool. Oh, this is so funny. Seeing how the like no changes thing has come full circle to like change everything is kind of interesting. Raid Finder is a feature that players love to hate. Again, I don't understand why, but it's all good though. And it comes with some major drawbacks on its own. Removing Raid Finder could certainly be a win for the community as a whole. Okay, can someone enlighten me? And I'm not even doing this like I know you're going to be wrong. And I'm going to like someone hit me with a take that you personally believe of why LFR is bad for the game. Like retail, classic, doesn't matter. Just like hit me with like something you like firmly believe. No devil's advocate. Just like, I don't like LFR and here's why. because other people don't like it and I'm a sheep, W. It's pointless. Delete the mode and make the mode like normal. That didn't... You just said nothing. You said it's pointless, but then you didn't say any reason why. I think it gives a decent gear to players who barely have to work for it. Yeah, but it's like it's below the gear that actually matters, so like what are we even talking? Like who cares, you know? I mean, so like that, you could summarize that as like high level thinking, gatekeeping, kind of. Max, on a personal level, I do not like the difficulty, so I just choose not to do the content unless I am gearing alts. Yeah, but that's not, and I'm assuming you knew this when you said that, but like that's not an advocate, like you're not advocating for its removal. Cause like you can say what you just said. Yeah, I don't really interact with the content, but still understand that other people do. Like Blizzard, like here's the reality. Like even if you are completely in your own way, you play the game the way you play the game. You don't care how anyone else plays the game, and you just hate LFR and you want it gone. Wouldn't it be really surprising to you with a company like Blizzard having all the statistics they could ever have about this game and what people queue into and how they interact with the game, why they would have continued to keep making LFR all these years? Right? Even you could just think about that for 1 second, and even if you're the most closed-minded player ever, the instant reality to you would be, well, probably a lot of people play it that aren't me, or enough people to where they continue making it, you know? And there's a lot of people maybe that are like kind of selfish, you know? Well, I mean, everyone's a little selfish, but they're like, hey, I know this is for people in the game, but it's not me, and I want you to make the game for me, so I'm mad. I mean, that kind of explains why maybe general, you know, in general, people not being satisfied for WoW or being whatever with WoW for a really long time is that premise is true. Like, people are like, yeah, I get it, you're making the game for other people, but like, make it for me, though. I care about me. Of course, I care about me, but the reality is WoW has made this game for like so long, and there's so many people that play it for such different reasons that they can't really make the game awesome for any of them. They have to include everybody and make stuff for everybody, but those people are so spread out and segmented in different directions that they can't just make it amazing for you. They got to make it great, okay for everyone. It's basically just the Souls-like argument. People that so raid don't want bad players to get to raid. People that do raid don't want bad players to get to raid. But it's like a lower difficulty. I don't get that. Like, I could see the Souls-like argument would be like, I'm a Mythic Raider and I want the smallest amount of people to be able to ever clear Mythic so it validates what I've done, or like what I've done is better. Bro, they're doing LFR. Like, there's no... You know what I mean? Oh, I guess I see what you mean. Like, I killed this boss in a Souls-like game. So there ain't no way you're fucking... There ain't no way you're fucking using summons and magic beam one-shot cheese, because I had to work for this shit. You know, I kind of see what you mean, but it's different though. It's not the same boss. It's multiple bosses lower in difficulty. But maybe that's where Souls-likes are a little hard to understand, because the difficulty, there is a difficulty setting in Souls-like, and it's just purely what you choose to use. You know, like if you play a Souls-like and you use a summon, you are not playing the game on the difficulty mode that anyone is playing without a summon. It's a lower difficulty. That's just true. The boss, just, you guys probably saw this in Night Rain, but the boss like kind of only fights one person at a time, so you're just like hitting the boss without it trying to kill you. Lies of P is getting an easy mode, and some people were upset about that. I mean, that's like the most predictable, not surprising thing ever, right? Like the Souls community in general, which includes Lies of P, has the most amount of people that are like that are like, the game has to be done this certain way. They like Elden Ring and Souls games not having difficulties or whatever is I don't like. I think it's like kind of stupid, low key. Like I just don't. I don't get it. Like I'm not saying like I love all the Souls games, but like would they be worse games if there was two difficulties? The difficulty that they came out with, and then just a mode where shit's way easier that I never interact with. Would it be any worse for me? No. I don't understand how you could argue it would be. You know, on a personal level. I can kind of see from the game direction take, they're like, we want the game to be played a certain way, so we're designing it this way. We're not cutting any corners. But they do cut corners. You allow summons. If you were so obsessed with the idea of like difficulty, you just wouldn't allow people to make it way easier by doing that, you know? So it's like, so if you've already conceded to that, why wouldn't you add a difficulty mode? That's just my opinion. It doesn't really matter. I also don't care, you know? But for people who are like, no, they should never add difficulty mode. This is the only way games should be played. I mean, that's just what are you doing, man? Who cares? If you're not going to play the lower difficulty, how could you possibly care? Max, I was watching your making the best raid of all time video, banger by the way, and I was wondering if you think any of the War Within bosses would have gotten selected had they been options. That's a great question. How do I find this video? Wait, can I just making the best WoW raid of all time? 2 years ago. It's 15 minutes long. Okay. Let's look at the list here. All right, so what did we do? How many bosses did we make? Oh, that's kind of interesting. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I think we added an 11th at the end, even though, because we were just like, we just want to include more great bosses. But I do want to point out that like, I strongly think that the amount of bosses that should be in a raid is 10. I think less than 10 has its issues. I think more than 10 has its issues. 11 and 10 might just depend on the raid. This raid would be great as 11 because all the bosses own. So what we chose was, we chose Ursoc from Emerald Nightmare as the first boss. Throne of Thunder Council as the second boss. Opulence as the third boss. And then you can split into Lady Ashvane or Operator Thogar. Then you get Painsmith. And then after that, you can choose Sludge Fist or Siegecrafter Blackfuse. After that, you get Pre-Nerf Halandris. After that, you get Fallen Avatar, and then Lei Shen. That's what we chose. So would the War Within bosses, this was made in Dragonflight. First of all, this was made in Dragonflight, but it was like earlier Dragonflight, right? So I don't even think, were there any Dragonflight bosses that could have made it onto this list? Tindril, potentially. What was in the second raid? Nothing really in the second raid. Oh, Rashok. Yeah, Rashok could totally be on here. But you asked about the War Within. I think the closest any War Within boss would come to being on this list would be Nexus Princess Kaiveza, if they tuned it correctly. But like, I don't remember how many pulls it took us to kill that, but the last 100 were us wiping in 1 minute trying to one tank because that was the only way they made it possible, which was such a mistake. And that just made the boss go from an absolute banger to an absolute stinker for me. But like, they could have just simply had the boss's health be correct and it would have been amazing. Sprocketmonger? Sprocketmonger is a good boss. I don't think it quite makes this list though. Also, Opulence is just like, I don't even know what you'd swap out. It's definitely not Opulence. So Opulence, the thing that's interesting about Opulence here is there are other bosses that are close to as good as Opulence, but none is creative or unique or as fun. Like, Opulence was so cool. and so different, and I feel like that would go alongside. Like, you basically just, like, if you're gonna make the best raid of all time, you're not gonna have them all be like single target great fights, but like like very simple. Not saying Opulence was different because it wasn't single target. It's actually largely single target. It's just the way the fight works. Very, very cool. Max, what about galley during your prog and not the pre-solved galley that all the other guilds are getting? Maybe if it was earlier in the raid. Actually, even though, no, you would never put galley on this list. Like, galley, dude, galley, the version we did, P1 through the P1 intermission, sick. But, like, everything after the intermission is just, like, an unfinished boss. Like, the boss just casts something every 15 seconds. It's just not like a boss. I don't know how to put it. They would have, like, the first 30% of Gallywix kind of cooks, but then it just stops. Wait, what is this? There's a Morgan Day interview? 2 days ago, Morgan Day talks DPS rankings with a Chinese DPS competition commentary and Q&A. Oh, have you guys heard about this? I don't know exactly how it worked, but they basically did like community-wide target dummy testing competitions of like who can do the most damage for their class in a certain scenario. And I was like, dude, that's the most basic WoW thing. Everyone's done this at some point, and no one has decided to just like try to make a competition out of it. And that is so interesting. Like, that's so I bet that would be so fun. Dude, I would love to look at that. I would love to do that.
Hello， 大家好，欢迎来到魔兽世界木桩。
It'll make it our way, but I will for sure follow.
So this is it, right? So this is the
team on that one as well, just to see if some of those are on their radar. Yeah, Death Knights are always a fun one to have in your group.
Okay. Wait, what did he say during the interview? This is very cool, dude. While a portion of the event also included dungeon performance, the core competition used placed custom target dummies inside of the Liberation of Undermine raid, featuring players executing 1 minute of pure single target combat and 1 minute of 5 target AoE combat, with the final damage scores being used to determine their overall class ranking. At the end of the competition, Windwalker pulled in a single target while Elemental Shaman dominated AoE. Note that Unholy Death Knight did not trigger its Blood Beast in this particular run. Oh, that's so funny. Nettie said, our goal was to invite top players from each class to participate in a dummy DPS tournament, allowing them to showcase their understanding and techniques for their current class spec in the competition. Dude, I feel like we could even run this as a community, and I feel like this would be really popular. Get some big names in there. Allow some people from the community to come out and show out. Because, like, I bet there's a lot of people that would actually be willing to compete. Like, for example, I bet you could find like some random player in some guild that could go toe to toe on a damage meter dummy with really any player. Because, like, when you're just doing damage to a dummy, you're removing like 90% of what makes you a good WoW player. So, like, you don't even have to be a sick player, but you could be sick at doing damage to a dummy, right? And then that would be really, really interesting to see how that played out. Because, like, I think it would have a lot of interesting narratives. Like, people get hyped up for random members of the community that weren't these like famous WoW raiders that were actually like beating really famous WoW raiders, you know, and they'd get like fucking hyped up. The only problem with that is then I would need to see messages from people in chat being like, well, dude, why don't you invite this guy to Liquid based off of target dummy testing? But it'd be still a good bit. Oh, raid. Did Morgan Day address raid? Oh, they're talking about okay. Why was he answering specific? What were the questions? He said Death Knights are always fun to have, especially in Mythic Plus where Death Grip has a lot of potential to save the day. Death Grip has historically been an extremely niche Mythic Plus ability that is not needed at all. You can find interesting uses for it, but you don't bring them because of it. Historically, Frost has always been a very proc-dependent class. More reactive, but they want to make sure Unholy doesn't start feeling too similar. This is not interesting. Read the Warrior one. Yeah, I heard they were getting some kind of battle res or something. Warrior representation seems to be based on which spec is doing better in Mythic Plus at the moment. They believe the class does bring decent amount of tools, but that the meta is focused more on casters, leading to debates on what kind of cool utility they can give Warrior. Battle resing would be kind of hilarious, but it's something the team has been thinking about, looking forward to Season 3. Tier sets have had an interesting impact on tuning, and sometimes an abnormally strong or weaker tier set upsides balance, despite the core class being fine. True. Oh, these were the competitors. Who won, dude? Looks like the Windwalker. Holy shit, Ellie does so much damage to 5 targets stacked up forever. Dude, I actually think the target dummy thing would be so interesting. I think there'd be so many people who could compete. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to shitty paint exercise here. But like the skill level at the Race World first level is insane. Like you skill ceiling is infinite, right? But like the amount of skill it requires to do your class's rotation perfectly and consistently on a 5-minute dummy or AoE dummies is like here, right? It's a decent amount. It's not easy to do that. But like the difference between being able to do that on a week 1 mythic end boss trying to kill you is like fucking through the ceiling, right? But like you'd be finding players that you guys know the names of because they're good at this, right? But all you're asking for is this. The amount of people that could do this is an insanely large amount of people. And I think that would be so interesting to see, dude. I would love to see Fired Up get beat by like some random fucking mage. That'd be hype. People would fucking worship that guy. Is this really one post below where I stopped looking? Max, any leaks for Season 3 dungeon pool? No, but aren't we at a point in dungeons where we're not really sure what they're going to do? Like the first 2 seasons, they did like the 4 War Within dungeons each season. And then there was 4 other ones. But what are they going to do in the new season? Because what did they do in Dragonflight? In Dragonflight, they did 4, and then what? They had Dawn of the Infinite, and then more old dungeons. Only Mega was new. Well, they made a new dungeon last season. Couldn't they just do that again? Making a new dungeon. I mean, I feel like they're not going to do mega dungeons this expansion. If that's the case, they need to be doing a new dungeon every single season. They did a poll. I don't remember the fucking poll. I don't vote in polls, man. Roadmap says new dungeon. Oh, there's a roadmap. Forgot about that old thing. Also, next weekend, guys, I don't know how to say this. I'm going to have a very interesting stream. Yeah, that's it. Next weekend. So, like, I don't actually even remember what day it is. It's like next Saturday or Sunday, but like, very cool. Very excited for it. So keep your eye out for that. Tar Island? No. No, I'm not playing it. Dude, I miss Terrace Land, man. God, Terrace Land launch was so goated. Is a sponsored bit? It is sponsored. But it's not something they would have to pay me to do. Does that make sense? Like, there's sponsored streams where you can probably tell that I'm only playing it because they're paying me money. And then there are sponsored streams where I'm doing something I would be doing anyway because it's a really cool opportunity, but they happen to be paying me for it. It's one of those. Max, have you talked about what's going on in the EU rating scene? What's going on in the EU rating scene? Hold up, did I miss some fucking shit? What did I miss? Probably talking... Oh, bro, is he talking about the Echo Method thing? Oh, that's fucking... I've already talked about it a lot. That's nothing. Thought there was some new shit, man. Alright. I'm gonna head out. Gotta go to the gym. I'll be out of town the next few days, but I'll be streaming, which I assume they're gonna announce 11.2 probably before I get back, unfortunately. But either way, I'll stream and talk about it Friday. And then I have that shit over the weekend, so... W...